tariffs. But I think one of the reasons that the White House might be eager to shore up these Republican seats is because they know that history is against them in this midterm election. Typically, you see the party in power lose a number of seats, potentially even control of the House or the Senate. In this instance, of course, looking at the House, one of those policies that these members are going to have to defend on the campaign trail is the politics of the economy, specifically the tariffs and trade war that Trump has had over the course of the last few months. Are we starting to see the effects and the impact of that and the way that lawmakers then going to have to talk about it on the campaign trail to their own constituents?
Well, Ali, I was actually watching the town hall that Mike Flood held the other night. Of course, that one was very contentious in terms of the audience booing, calling him a liar at certain points as he tried to defend Republican bills, including that one big beautiful bill, the Trump mega bill that passed with the taxes. So it does seem like there is some frustration out there. Of course, when you look at polling as well, you are beginning to see that reflected. And I think for prices, for a while, we didn't really see too many prices increase despite the threat of tariffs. And part of that was because folks knew this was coming. Companies were able to sort of stockpile and order some supplies so they knew they could ride it out for a little bit. But in a lot of these earnings calls, you're beginning to see companies saying, hey, we can't go on for much longer like this. We are going to have to raise some prices. You've seen that from Procter & Gamble. So you've seen that from Adidas. You've seen that, I think, Ford Motor Company noted that they would be expecting to be losing, I think, a good chunk of revenue because of the tariffs. And so companies do seem to be hitting this point where they are now not as sure that they can really keep these prices from going on to the consumer. And that could absolutely have an impact. I know I was chatting the other day with Susan DelBene, the D-Trip chair, of course, who's responsible for making sure that Democrats win the House in this next midterm. And she very much sees the tariffs as an issue that are in play.
She sees tariffs as an issue that's in play. In my conversations with her, I think her and other Democrats see affordability as a central issue. But when you talk to Republicans, and I know it's been a week or two since we've actually seen them in Washington, but we've seen them in town halls. What is the way that they are defending not just the tariff piece of this, but the one big beautiful bill piece of this, where people are showing up to these town halls, Republicans, Democrats alike, and saying, I'm worried about what's happening to my health care. And lawmakers are saying, in Mike Flood's case and others, well, we have to make cuts somewhere. We can't keep spending like this. Is that the politically successful argument to make?
It was so interesting, Ali, because there was actually someone who showed up at Flood's town hall and said, I'm worried about the debt and what are we doing to address it? And it is interesting because, that was part of the reason that Republicans did what they did with Medicaid, is because they wanted to address the deficit. At the same point, there do seem to be a lot of concerns about health care, and there's a reason that they didn't go further with their Medicaid cuts. They knew that. When it comes to defending the bill, look, yes, Republicans are absolutely right to point to the fact that this bill passing is going to save Americans a lot of money when it comes to their taxes. Otherwise, that 2017 bill would have expired and a lot of Americans would have been paying a lot more. But you can already see that when it comes to messaging on the bill and discussing the bill, that the healthcare component has become an issue that voters are picking up on. And it's going to be up to Republicans really over the next month and then from then until the midterms to really make the case to voters about what the positives in that bill are going to be for them and to try to push back against some of the concerns about those who will be losing Medicaid under this bill.
The other concerns that they're fielding, Emily, are in regards to the lack of transparency around Jeffrey Epstein. So stay with us because there's a Hill angle to this that just came up overnight. The House committee that's investigating the Epstein case has issued a flurry of new subpoenas for, quote, testimony related to horrific crimes perpetrated by Jeffrey Epstein. The Oversight Committee announced yesterday it had sent out deposition subpoenas to former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The cover letter to the former president calls for him to sit for a deposition on October 14th to answer questions about his relationship with Epstein. Representatives for the Clintons didn't immediately respond to requests for comment, but several top former Justice Department officials were also in that batch of subpoenas asked for their testimony, including former Attorneys General Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, William Barr, Merrick Garland, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzales. Also included are former FBI directors James Comey and Robert Mueller. Additionally, Committee Chair James Comer of Kentucky issued a subpoena to the Justice Department itself for records related to the deceased deceased sex offender. That subpoena directs the DOJ to turn over the, quote, full, complete, unredacted Epstein files to the committee on or before August 19th. It really feels here, Emily, like in these subpoenas, yes, Republicans and Democrats both voted for them from this committee. You can see why, because it's a bipartisan group of subpoenas that were issued. But I think the larger issue here is that Republican leadership thought that this issue was going to go away over the recess, and it's clearly not.
Allie, it's absolutely not. And the fact of the matter is that Democrats who I've spoken with on the Hill say that they're 100% ready to take up this issue again as soon as they get back to Congress. And I think you are seeing that. I think that's part of this reason that you're seeing the subpoena now, so that Republicans can start saying, OK, these are some of the things that we've done. And remember, when they do get back, there is that resolution that they moved through that basically it's not legally binding, but would call for the records to be released. But of course, this is an issue that's very much split Republicans, which is why Democrats are going to work to keep it in the front and center, going to kind of work to continue to keep pressure on leadership, on Trump, on the White House as far as these documents go. Because at this point, I mean, obviously, you and I know at D.C. a couple weeks can be an absolute lifetime in terms of politics. But this really does not at this point seem like an issue that's going away the way that some Republican leaders were hoping that it would over the August recess.
And I do think that leadership really thought that time would take the air out of this balloon for them. And clearly, with committees investigating it, issuing subpoenas, having dates that go well into the fall for some of those potential depositions, it only ensures that the story will stay alive. And that's nothing to say of the way that other members are trying to force a bill vote onto the House floor. That's going to be another thing that we're following over the course, excuse me, of the next few weeks. For now, CNBC's Emily Wilkins, thank you so much for joining us.